All right, briefly, we're going to talk about intellectual property. Intellectual property, you're talking about really four types of property. Trademarks, this is actually the mark, like Starbucks, the mermaid, along with the name. But trademarks are protected under common law. Remember, common law are court decisions that have accumulated over time. So you have a common law trademark. It's protected, you can register with the state as well. The state of Washington, you can do that online. But if you're smart, you register with the federal government, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. My advice to entrepreneurs in any business is make sure you have checked out your trade name and your trademark before you spend a lot of time, energy, and effort and resources on your business. Because if the name is already used, you're pretty much screwed. So make sure you check that out as one of the first things you do as an entrepreneur. Nail it down. You can reserve them on the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office website, which is www.uspto.gov. Always check those out. And the problem is if you end up not doing that and someone has registered the trade name and trademark, all your profit could potentially go to that person, because you basically hijack their intellectual property. You know, when you register, let me just say there are different categories. So the fact that you have a company that may sell a product and another company has reserved that name, if the products are totally different, then you should be able to go ahead and register that. I say that should because when you register, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office have analysts and attorneys that will look at whether that name is confusing with another company, another product. The objective here with your registering trademark is to avoid consumer confusion, because somebody is going to go to Trader Joe's. The assumption is that that's where you're going, and it's not a knockoff. Although there's cases where there's challenges to everything like that. Anyway, so trademark. The other types are copyright. This is a literary work. It could be artistic work. This is also protected under common law, but you should register with the federal government. Common law you'll see with a C and a circle around it that refers to copyright. But most people with copyrights, a lot of people don't bother to register with the federal government. I think that's a mistake. But it's your choice. Patents are purely federal, and this is where you need a patent attorney to take care of that. This is a complicated area for most people. You've probably seen some people that do it on their own. It's certainly possible. But it is, in my opinion, sufficiently complicated. You need to hire an attorney to take care of that. The fourth type of intellectual property is called trade secrets. Now, this is different than the other three. Trade secrets, you don't register with anybody. These are protected by common law and state law, but under the Trade Secrets Acts that states have adopted. These are like client lists, product formulas, which you, in theory, could have trademarked or patented, but maybe chose not to do that, because if you do patent something, it's available for public inspection. In fact, the U.S. Constitution references in Article 1, Section 8 that one of the delineated powers Congress has is over intellectual property, and the deal there was essentially that if you want protection under the law, you have to register your patents and copyrights and allow people to look at those. And and you'll see your book talks about how long they're good for. It depends on the type of intellectual property. But trade secrets, again, you're talking about client lists, maybe formulas, things like that, that if used by inappropriately violates the trade secret law. Again, very important for businesses to register their trademarks and all their intellectual property. I would include in that domain names and any social media handles, so you have those up front when you start to expend money on advertising for your company.